Timbo,
Mike, what's up?
how you doing, pal?
Great, great. Just finished work. Excited to be here. Excited to talk to you.
That's our February episode, our February phone call as friends. We're on a once a month speaking schedule. No other contact.
Nope,
Just
no
kidding.
texts, nada.
No. So yes, you just finished your job. That means, unlike in the past, it's not 9 p.m., it's 5:15.
Pretty rad.
Yeah, you like it? You're a
Yeah, so
straight up 9 to 5er now.
yeah, I did 4 full weeks of training, and that was 8 to 4. So I was getting up at like 6:30. Surprised myself. It actually wasn't that difficult. Like I definitely started to drag by like 2:30 in the afternoon, but I survived. And now that I'm on this 9 to 5 schedule, still kind of surprising that I'm waking up no problem. I love having my nights to myself. It's really fantastic.
Yeah, there's definite once you get used to it, that's the thing.
Hmm.
And it's like we're older. We're not out all night to partying. We could adjust pretty quickly to getting up early. And that 2:30 dead zone, the 2:30 3 o'clock,
Hmm.
I've had that my entire life, no matter what time I get up. It's like at 3 p.m., I'm just dog shit. Or I used to get home from school at 2:10, school ended. So like 2:30, I'd get home and I'd be just fucking zonked out on the couch, wake up for dinner, like so incredibly grumpy, just be mean to my parents for family dinner. They'll be like, did you learn anything today? No. I don't know. Just a fucking miserable prick. But my son will never be like that. He'll be nice to me, or else there'll be hell to pay.
Hmm.
But how is the new gig? How you settling in? You feeling happy? You feeling fulfilled? You feel like you made the right decision to leave the other place?
All positive reactions to all of those questions. Like, so I am on a tech support team and I make five of us, and the other four guys are just like, they're pretty cool. Like, there's one older dude who is like nearing retirement, but he's like still pretty down to earth. And he's like that sage old, wizard. he
Need
has
one.
like, he
Yeah.
just has all this like deep knowledge of the company. I guess I should say. So like the company I work for now, it's called 3SI. They're a security
Mhm.
company. And I don't know if I said it on pod that they make these little GPS devices that they throw in like banks. They put them in vaults. They put them in
Mm.
cash drawers, and
Yeah.
then they also have like, so those are like, that's like the financial side of things, and then they have a retail end where we have big old customers like Walmart and CVS, and they put them in their cash drawers and such. But they also make these iPhone trackers, and it's literally an iPhone box. Looks exactly the same. It you know no differences basically whatsoever, except for a tiny little number on the back that is like how we identify the thing. That's
Yeah.
the only difference. Has the shrink wrap and everything, but
Gee.
inside the box has one of our trackers.
Yeah.
So there's a call center, and that's like the level one help desk, and they like monitor these devices, and when they start walking away from locations, is when they work hand in hand with police to like track them down and arrest them.
Yeah.
And my job is level two support. I support this call center. Um, so yeah, it's a small team. That guy, that older dude, has been a huge help, but the other members of my team have been amazing. They're all kind of dorky like me. They're all around the same age as me. Uh, and yeah, like I'm getting paid more money. I'm getting paid time off. The schedule's great. Like it's all positive feedback. My boss is definitely not like a micromanager by any means. He kind of lets us run our own ship. Yeah, man. I mean, I know it's new, so of course, like any new thing, you're going to be excited about, especially a job.
Hmm.
But it's been pretty good. It's been pretty awesome.
Good. And yeah, there's also situations you walk into you can immediately tell they're bad. So it's a good that it's not one of those. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, it's February 2022. Um, how are you holding up? Did you make any either concrete or abstract plans or ideas about things you wanted to improve about yourself moving into 2023? I know I didn't have like, I mean, actually, so I had some like general things like fitness, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But also I set a concrete goal of I want to read 12 books this year,
Oh, wow.
which,
Okay.
one a month. That's not great, but it's pretty good, damn good for me. One a month. And it's February. I'm on my third book, so I'm ahead of schedule. I'm feeling good. I've stopped going to Wawa every night at work. I pack lunch like 5 days a week, or I try to at least. So on my breaks at work, I fucking, eat food from home and I read. I don't just stare at my phone while I'm eating a fucking my fourth chicken finger sandwich from Wawa. And it's Friday. I've spent $100 at Wawa this week while working. It's like, am I even making money here? What am I doing? But so that's been positive. I've been so at work we get a half-hour lunch, right?
Mhm.
And then we get 2 10-minute breaks that we can take. So my half hour I eat and I do the reading, right? My 10 minutes I'm doing Duolingo Spanish lessons, okay?
Okay.
So, I'm like doing things to better myself. And tomorrow is a big test cuz I've decided I have Wednesdays and Thursdays off, right? Today's Wednesday, tomorrow's Thursday. I'm going to try out something I've named a no phone Thursday. So tonight, I'm going to get all my affairs in order for tomorrow. And then I'm going to wait till midnight so I could do my Duolingo lesson technically on Thursday so I don't lose my streak, which is important, folks. But then I'm going to shut the phone down, put it in a drawer, and then Thursday, I'm going to wake up like it's 1995. I'm going to get up. I'm going to and just see what the day brings me rather than get up, wake up, immediately look at my phone and then burn a full hour just refreshing the 3 social media sites I was looking at seconds before I went to sleep. You know what I mean? So we're going to see how that goes. I'm already thinking like I'm going to the gym tomorrow. What am I going to listen to? Am I going to have to I'm going to have to bring this bad boy?
Gonna bust out the iPod mini.
The iPod? I'm going to have to find some speakers or some headphones with a jack. I'll be a wired guy at the gym with my fucking iPod. We'll see.
I think you're
Maybe
gonna have to, man.
I might just have to fucking straight up raw dog it. No, just my own
Your thoughts.
and the shitty music they play there, and the fucking overheard conversation of gym people, which is hell on earth. But hey, Joe Rogan's always telling me you got to make yourself in pain and uncomfortable in order to not be a pussy. Okay, but that's me. I'm also going to be a father in 3 months. I was just talking to my dad. It's February. I'm going to have a baby in May, brother. What the fuck? So I'm, making these small self-improvements. And then I'm sure once we have a child we're taking care of, that'll all just get thrown out the window and it'll just be all hands on deck survival mode. But
sure.
As of now, I'm 1 month ahead in my reading challenge. So I'm feeling good about myself. Jack, how you doing, Tim?
Good. I feel like you are a reader though. So that's a cool goal to have. I've never used the new year to that's my timestamp to finally make changes in life. Like I know in my brain, I have like a mental list of shit I want to do. Sometimes I even put it in I do have a to-do list in my notes on my phone.
Yeah.
And I just notes down there all the time. And then just sometimes I get around to it, sometimes I don't, and yeah, like I didn't do anything different come the new year, but yeah, like
That's not true. You're a liar because you told me, Mr. Only Cardio.
So yeah,
you started hitting the weights, brother.
I did. I finally, I don't know why, I just never checked out the weight room in our apartment complex, because I remember when we first checked this place out, and we moved in here like, I don't know, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing it, and it's like, it's small and it's quaint. But I also had my own weights at that time. And then we didn't have room for my little weight bench and my little set of weights. So that's all over my parents' place. And I just never thought about it again. Never thought about like even investigating this little weight room. So I did that this past weekend, and there was no one in there. I was by myself for like 45 minutes to an hour, did my little workout, felt great.
Can you describe this weight room for me? I love weights and weight rooms. And
yeah, it's got a stepper, it's got an elliptical, it's got a treadmill, it's got a bike.
Damn.
It has a water cooler, it has a bathroom, has a little coat closet. Then it has like a proper weight machine. So it's got your leg press, your like quad lift, like a bench press, like a pull down. I forget what that guy's called.
It's a lat pull down.
There we go. And then you got the guy that like does your pecs.
The butterfly.
Yep. So it's got all of those things. I think it's really nice. I know a lot of the other residents here think it's shit, I guess, because it's not big. I don't know. But then they also have like a free weight bench and a whole set of free weights. And that's my move. I always just grab some free weights and do a few exercises. And like I said, it takes me about 45 minutes to an hour. I'm actually going to do that after we're done recording.
That rocks.
Yeah. And like my running has decreased drastically in the wintertime. Now it has been mild, so
it's should be warm. It's going to be 70 degrees in February tomorrow, dude. So there's going to be a show next year. We're all going to be dead.
So I'm probably going to run tomorrow. I'm going to like this was the goal all along. Like I was running at like a normal rate, and then I wanted to start to intermingle some weights. Well, the running kind of stopped come wintertime. Well, I don't really have an excuse for that because it's too goddamn warm because, climate change isn't real.
Yes.
But so yeah, I hit the weight room. It's a fantastic little weight room. I'm going to keep running. So yeah, those are all, and like this all is like something that can be done with my set schedule,
Yes.
Like it's just, I just can't, like, I don't want to like be braggadocious, but it's so nice. Even like, so eventually my schedule will be 11 to 7, but even that, like, just, I will have enough time after 7 o'clock to myself. It was like when I was on the 1 to 9 schedule, like 9 o'clock, you can't really do shit.
That's nighttime. Yeah.
It's totally night. It's just like a mental state. When you finish at 9 o'clock, your brain, it's tough to tell your brain to go do something like proactive. Whereas like when I've been getting done at 5, I like actually have motivation to do more adulting and like do chores or do exercise and stuff. And still have plenty of time to then just like play some video games.
Yes. Yeah.
And like, and then come like 10:30, I'm actually tired. And I'm like, yeah, I think I'll go to bed.
I'll knock off for the night. I'll go to sleep at 10 and I'll wake up at 6. That's 8 hours.
And I'm good.
Fuck? Yeah.
So bizarre. Like I don't know. I met up with my friend Sean Castle this past weekend. We had
Castle.
Castle. We haven't hung out for a long time. And Kat and I, we actually just got pre-approved, so we're gonna get that ball rolling to like own a home.
Okay, brother.
Yeah, and we're definitely gonna be using Sean Castle as as our realtor. But anyway, I was just telling him about all of this, and he can relate because he was also a career restaurant guy, bartender, restaurant manager, and now he's been in real estate. Like he was always like doing real estate on the side for years, but he never really like fully plunged himself into it until about 5 years ago, and he hasn't looked back. And I was just saying to him how I just can't, it's sometimes tough to like take a 30-foot view of what my life has become. And I just never would have imagined this for myself. I
Right.
always thought I was going to be like
A
the
lifer.
night owl
Yeah.
that was staying up till 3 a.m. This was just like my life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I'm like kind of not totally 180'd, but I'm getting there. And it's very, very nice.
I'm so happy for you, Tim. I tell you this all the time. I'm so happy for you. I'm glad it's working out, and I'm glad, you know, I'm glad everything you say is positive, and I'm glad you didn't. I'm glad that you took the pandemic and completely used it to set a goal and then achieve it, and you did it like in insane amount of time. You were like, this happened. Well, fuck this. I want to do this. I'm going to take the steps to do this. I took the steps and now I'm doing it. God bless you, brother. That's fucking, you did it right
And
before the world ends. You did it.
I appreciate that. And thank God I have Kat in my life, my
Yeah.
lovely wife, because
Mm-hmm.
that previous job I had was definitely a pay cut. And without her
Mm-hmm.
being very successful, and especially with the income she has, I wouldn't have been able to really do that. Or I would have been able to do it, but I would have had to still bartend at the same time,
Right.
and that would have been brutal,
Yeah.
too old for that shit.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. I'm an overnighter at this point, and I work with a guy who I love. He's like, he's new to he's new to us, so in some ways but he is what I'm saying. He's like the elder statesman. He's an older man,
right.
um, from Korea, and he's a mailman. He's been a mailman for about 15 or 18 years, and he still is. And he works full time as a mailman and as an overnight grocery guy. And it's like, brother, the fuck are you doing? And it's like, he doesn't have to. He's just, you know, I mean, I guess part of that is also he told me when he came over from Korea, he had nothing, like $0 and 0 cents, and it's like, I guess if you have the momentum of just working two jobs for 20 years, you could just keep it rolling downhill. But I've never done it, and I never will. I barely, like, by the time I'm done my one job a day, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah. So leading up to even just through the interview process for this job I have now, like the job description was never distinct. It was always vague.
Yeah.
And then even once I got into training, it still took a while to really understand what this company does.
Yeah.
And my boss set up like a whole slew of meet and greets of like higher ups in the company. And they kind of explain the different facets of the company because it's not even set up from a corporate structure what you're used to. So you kind of like learn all these faces and names and what exactly they do and where they fit. One of the guys, he's this like lead supervisor of the call center, and he just answered a few of our questions, but then he flipped it on us and asked us a bunch of questions, like some fun stuff, just like what do you guys do for hobbies, and
Mhm.
we got I of course got talking about movies with him.
Mhm.
But then he asked me, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And I kind of didn't know how to answer, because I essentially answered by saying, well, this is my story, this is what COVID did to me, and like where I am sitting right here in front of you today was the goal. So like
Yes.
now that I'm here, I haven't reevaluated like what is the next goal,
Yes, 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 absolutely. That's fantastic. But
And
you're
like and it is exciting to think that this is just like the floor of
Mhm.
where I could still potentially go. But like even right here at the floor, it's exciting and I'm happy. Like
Yes. Yes,
great.
because you were about, I mean, you didn't have any, um, ideas of moving from the position you were in, which was a veteran bartender server. You didn't have any aspirations of getting into like restaurant management or anything like that. So you were basically you were hitting your head on the ceiling for years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there was nowhere to go except maybe a lateral move or possibly to a different restaurant, but you're still fucking grinding your fucking bones to dust.
Exactly. And that was all part of the calculation and like the meditation, if you will. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, well, maybe I'll go into fine dining. Maybe I'll like, if you really want to do the bartending thing, like move to fucking Vegas, you know?
Right.
But I can't do that. Kat is tied here with Kuma and she's got a great gig.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like that all was pushing me in the direction of, okay, I got to get out of this business. That's all
Mhm.
there is to it.
Yeah. It was a total sign. Oh, let's talk about movies. You're
Yeah.
Mr. Movie to me. You see so many movies, and the Oscars are next month. They're in March this year, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you're right. I think they're normally in February, but maybe they are in
There,
March.
yeah. I know just because every podcast I listen to, everyone has said, "When are the Oscars this year?" And then someone looks it up and they're like, "March." Wow. But anyway, you were telling me you've basically seen everything.
So the ones I haven't seen are Women Talking, and this is for Best Picture.
Okay,
Uh,
let's go through them all.
so Top Gun Maverick, obviously seen that. I think I actually saw it in theater, blown away. Watched it
Mhm.
twice at home, once just by myself, and then once again to watch it with Kat because she never saw it.
Mhm.
Um, do you have any thoughts on Top Gun Maverick?
I still have to see it.
Okay,
I haven't seen it yet.
it's
I
probably
feel
still on Paramount Plus, which I abuse a certain someone's account to watch
Mhm.
stuff on there. So maybe
Good.
we'll have to hook you up with that.
Thank you. Fuck them.
But yeah, then
Paramount Plus, not your benefactor, obviously.
Women Talking. That's a Frances McDormand one that I've yet to see.
Never even
Um,
heard of it until now. And I think I like movies.
yeah, I actually hadn't heard of it until just seeing this list of movies. Then Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Mhm.
Saw it in theater. Saw it a second time at home with Kat, and I still think that's my favorite movie of this year. And it came out like yeah, a while, like early in 2022. So I always feel like those movies that come out and say like March or April get forgotten about. But I think this movie
Or it's like it's almost like it's been out so long that it's like seems like it's from last year almost.
totally,
Right.
totally agree.
Mhm.
um,
That
but
yeah, I saw that. Just a fucking just a masterpiece. Just I loved it. I love it. I love everyone involved. You know what I mean? And it's just so just just absolutely nuts. First of all, just wild and just a lot of fun.
it's just so chock full of so much that it's tough to put into a sentence and really wrap your brain around it. So you just kind
There's
of have to,
no way to describe it.
yeah.
You just got to see it. Like if I tried to lay out the plot for you, I'd sound like a fucking asshole or a moron. Just go see it. You just got to see it.
Yeah. Next, The Banshees of Inisherin, and that's with
Yes.
what's his name,
Colin
Colin
Farrell.
Farrell. Yep. I recently watched, so that's on HBO Max. At
Mhm.
least last I checked. So
Yeah.
that one, did you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So I liked it. It was just kind of like I think in the end I didn't going into the movie I didn't realize it was going to be pretty much a very dark comedy,
It's
and
so funny.
it
I
is
thought like I just put it on because it was on HBO Max. I knew it was like a Oscar buzz movie. Colin Farrell was in it. The other guy's in it. I don't know his name. But
Brendan Gleeson.
yeah, and I thought I was about to watch like a fucking period piece drama.
Same.
It's a straight up it's funny as Colin Farrell is so fucking funny in that movie. And I mean, it's dark and it gets very dark, but it's also very fucking funny. And Colin Farrell, there was a while when he first burst onto the scene, I feel like he had the hot guy backlash where it was like, he's not really a good actor. He's just good
Mhm.
looking. The dude is a fucking great actor. I love Colin Farrell. I love to see him in anything. I'll watch him in Phone Booth. I'll watch him in the uh Era Sheerans.
Or how about, you know, some Total Recall? that
Total Recall. I
reboot.
did not see that. I
It's
do
not
plan
good.
on watching. I really want to watch Michael Mann's Miami Vice, which I've never seen.
Mm.
Which maybe I'll watch that tonight on my phone.
But yeah, after watching Banshees, so this
Banshees.
director, it's Martin McDonough, and he doesn't have a big like directorial filmography, but he did 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, which
That was also an Oscar movie, which I've never seen.
totally. I was just kind of impartial about it. It was just, I don't know. I don't really have much of an opinion. But then in reading a bunch of critical reviews on Banshees, they all were talking about In Bruges or Bruges.
In Bruges.
Yeah. So this is another movie that he directed that I'd never seen, but it also has Colin Farrell. It might even have the other guy. I'm looking real quick. Yeah, it also has Brendan Gleeson.
Shit, I thought that was like a 90s movie. When did that come out?
2008.
Shit. Okay. I must be thinking of Chocolat or something.
Mm-hmm. So that basically watching Banshees has kind of inspired me to throw like In Bruges on my list of shit I got to see.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah. Moving on, Triangle of Sadness, another movie I've never heard of. It's nominated for Best Picture.
Did you say it?
No.
I hear about it a lot in the podcast circuit that I listen to. A lot of people have seen it, and a lot of people say it's very funny.
Okay, cool. The Fabelmans. So after the nominations come out, a lot of these movies do get thrown back into theaters. Fabelmans was one of those that I went and saw, and this is essentially like a Spielberg biopic in a way. It's
about himself, right?
Yeah. It starts with him as like a elementary school kid, and then it's like his teenage years in high school, and then it kind of ends where he's in Hollywood, still around the age of, I guess, like 20, 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just, it kind of like what I said about 3 Billboards. I'm kind of just impartial about it. Like it's fine. It's good. I don't really see the hype around it. All of the Oscar noms.
It's just good.
Yeah, it's just solid.
Okay. It's a Spielberg. Spielberg's going to put out a solid movie.
It did show him the parts of it I love the most were when he is a teenager and he's just like, he's making movies with all of his friends, like that he made in Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
But they're all like, they're into it. They're very much on board for like, this is our quirky, dorky friend, Steven Spielberg, who's like way into cameras. Yes, let's make movies. And even at that age, I could like totally see him being this like micromanaging, if you will.
Paul Dano, aka Mr. Riddler.
He's fantastic in it.
He's a good actor. Well, he's a good boy. My first brush with him, of course, was Little Miss Sunshine.
Oh yeah, good pull.
Watched that in one of interpersonal communications class in Delaware County Community College.
DC Cubed, baby.
DC Cube. Let's go Phantoms, dog.
Yeah, next nom is All Quiet on the Western Front, which I'm pretty sure was a Netflix exclusive.
Did you see it?
I did. It's really good. It is very good. It reminded me of, what was that, 1917 or 1918?
Yeah.
World War I movie. It very much felt like that.
It's good. Yeah, 1917 was a lot of fun. I mean, not fun. It's fucking very dark and awful because it's the war. But just in terms of seeing a movie and being like, how the fuck did they build this world? Where did they build this? What the fuck? How do they have these massive trenches and battlefields? And of course, 1917 has the gimmick of appearing as though the film is just one long shot. which, you know, that's fun.
Yeah, it's tough to parse out when they do actually cut.
The cuts,
To
yeah.
to the viewer, it truly does look like one shot.
Makes it just builds the tension.
Yeah, it really does.
But All Quiet was good. I'm not familiar. I know it is a book. I'm not familiar with the story, but it's from the perspective of is the main character a German soldier?
I actually read half of that book in
Mhm.
high school,
Mhm.
just on my own. My teacher suggested it to me for some reason.
Mhm.
I vaguely remember, yes, that it was from the German perspective.
And is the movie? You saw the movie.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
um.
They never did anything wrong, in my opinion.
No. Yeah. For sure.
Kidding, of
Avatar.
course. Avatar,
Avatar. Way
The
of
Last
Water.
Airbender, M. Night Shyamalan.
Clearly an Oscar nomination this many years
Mhm.
later.
Mhm. The Oscars will sometimes do this. They'll be like, you know, we fucked up. We missed this one this year. We're gonna put it in this one. It's a make good. Okay. What do you want?
Dude, Avatar Last Airbender. There's a lot of bad movies I'll watch because they're covered on like how did this get made.
Mhm.
I don't think I've ever made it through that movie. It's really that dreadful.
I've never even started it. I have no desire to. I like the cartoon, the Nickelodeon cartoon.
Mhm.
I don't want to watch the movie. I don't have any interest.
Yeah, it's straight
Is
trash.
it actors? Is it CGI? What is it?
It is live action.
Yeah. And it's M. Night.
Yeah, it
Like his
is.
only non-original IP, like his own. That's like his seems strange. It's like him doing a Marvel movie almost, but
Right.
not Marvel.
But yeah, Avatar Way of Water, saw that in theater. It's a long movie, but like I kept saying to Keenan on, Pop Addled that like the closer we got to Avatar's release, the more excited I kind of got for it.
Mm-hmm.
But further out from it, I was definitely of the opinion like, why is he making these movies? Like, who is clamoring for more Avatar?
I'm like James Cameron. Please make a different. Like Avatar does not excite me at all. But I love James. You know, it's fucking James Cameron. Like I want him to make movies, but it's like Avatar is not. I'm not gonna see it. I don't care. Like I just don't care. I didn't see the first one.
Oh, really?
No,
Okay.
I missed it in theaters, which I should have saw it just to see the 3D because they say the 3D was the most awesome 3D movie. But I can't really see 3D. I think because of my astigmatism.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it, and then I watched some of it on home video, and I was just like, not doing it for me. And then this one was like, it's 3 hours. It's just not what I want to look at. You know, God bless them. I'm sure it looked great for CGI, but it's just like a CGI movie is just not for me. But it's
Yeah.
just like I
Forgot
want
who I'm talking to.
yeah, I want to see James Cameron do something else, but he's like locked in for like the next 5 fucking Avatar movies, and he's not young.
I will. So yeah, the first Avatar, it was almost like a magic trick where I remember leaving the theater being totally blown away by the
Yeah.
3D. And then as time passes and you keep watching it on just, your typical TV at home, it loses its luster.
Mhm.
And I know a lot of people that didn't see it in theater and didn't see it 3D, and they now can't get into it because they just, just that was the big draw was the visuals.
Mhm.
I will, and yes, this movie, it is a lot of CGI, obviously, but
Mhm.
he truly seems to like want to perfect it for Hollywood, almost like crack the code so that the rest of Hollywood can copy and paste. Like, here, guys, this is how it's supposed to be done.
But it can't be done like that because he can do what he wants, and he'll be like, we have to redo this scene because this small part of it doesn't look right, so we got to make that small part look right. And he's James Cameron, and he's allowed to fix that.
Yeah.
Whereas the other you know, most CGI heavy movies are like, you have to finish it in a week, no matter what. And it's like,
Mm.
no, this needs to be fixed. And it's like, doesn't matter. We're putting it out. We don't care that it looks like shit. And that, um, you know, that's the issue. Is like James Cameron can take, because when did the first Avatar come out?
2008.
Nuts, a lifetime ago. And he just, you know, James Cameron has the blank check. James Cameron can and wants to look at every frame and make sure it's perfect. Whereas the rest aren't allowed to do that.
I will say though that the other part of Way of Water that hooked me is it very much feels like certain aspects are video game like.
Yeah.
And also there's a lot of world building going on here. Like he's planting seeds to like explore all of Pandora, you know,
yeah.
So, I mean, obviously in the title, they go and hang out with all of these like water tribes. Whereas like in the, sorry, it was 2009, by the way, the initial Avatar, you know, that was like the woodland tribes. And there's apparently like,
I think the next one might be Volcano or something. You know
yeah,
what I mean? Yeah.
And I'm into that. Like that's so like World of Warcraft for me, because like each land you go to kind of has its own theme or zone, I should say.
Absolutely. That's total video. That's Mario. That's yeah, total video game world.
But yeah, like for Best Picture, I don't think it should win, but I'm not surprised. Well, I guess I'm a little surprised it's there. That in Top Gun Maverick, like typically those big old budget popcorn movies are never, you know, nominated for Best Picture. But here it is. Yeah. Then there's two more movies. Elvis. Saw that in theater. I've watched it actually a couple times at home. That's kind of become my like comfort movie just to throw on mindlessly.
Really?
Yeah. Just because like the music in it is fun.
Yeah.
The guy who plays Elvis is really, really good.
He's nuts. He won't stop talking like Elvis.
I keep hearing this on podcasts too, and I'm like, that kind of rules, although you might lose your mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't know, it's another movie in the bucket of biopics that I would rather just watch like a documentary or read a fucking book. You know? It's funny though, I do see on Twitter a lot of people like reacting now where, yo, I just watched Elvis and whoa, I didn't realize his manager was such a prick. I'm like, well, don't take this for gospel. It's still a fucking movie.
Right.
But they're not far off. That I guess his name was actually my dad's name, Tom Parker.
Colonel Tom Parker. Yes.
Yeah.
Played by the one and only Tom Hanks, America's dad.
That kind of threw me for a loop. So the movie's being told from his perspective, and it's Tom Hanks, so you're just automatically assuming he's a good guy. But really, in the end, you realize no, he's kind of the villain in this.
He's he was an absolute user.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, and then the last movie on the list is Tar. Kate Blanchett.
Did you see Tar?
I saw that in theater as well. Yes.
People are loving Tar. I want to see it. Tar's definitely on my list.
Yeah, it's good. She's a fictitious, renowned conductor, and she essentially abuses her power for certain things. So it's almost like a what's the like cancel culture kind of Me Too kind of thing, but it's coming from a powerful woman. So kind of like it's a different take on it almost.
Yeah. And you also saw Roseanne Barr's new
Cancel This
stand-up special.
Yeah, obviously. I watched that the night it came out.
That's your write-in pick for Oscar of the year.
Yeah, I love myself some Roseanne Barr. I never even watched Roseanne back in the day when it was popular.
It was good. The show was really good. It was very funny, and it was very real from the perspective of like lower lower middle class
Mhm.
America, working people, uh, raising like having probably too many kids, but you know what I mean, and struggling to make ends meet, but it was very real, very good. But um, somebody, I'll think. I think his name's Caleb Heron had a very good point that like she used to have such a strong and um correct perspective being from that life, but then it just like somewhere she took a turn where it's just like she's just now a person that's always um like always going against what people say no matter what, even if she's full of shit, and
Just
it's
a
like
contrarian for
that's the
argument's
word I
sake.
couldn't think of. Yes, yes, it's just like you really lost what people liked about you, and now you're just a contrarian and just kind of an asshole, and it sucks. And once you start talking about uh once you have anything titled cancel this or anything like that, you just lost the plot, you just suck.
Yeah, it's
But
like whatever thin tether was tying her to reality is clearly now gone.
gone for sure, which is sad because you don't want to see people lose their fucking mind, but also, I mean, people are paying her to lose her mind, basically.
Yeah,
Fox
I mean,
Nation is evil shit. And it's
right.
like, she's obviously mentally ill, right? So it's like, what are you going to do? Now she's in blonde pigtails saying my pronouns are kiss my ass. Like,
What?
it's just all nasty shit. Just
Right.
very bad. Bleep that out. Can't put that on YouTube.
I think that's your job, buddy.
I'm going to write that down.
But yeah,
42 minutes.
maybe it's to a lesser extent, but kind of like Randy Quaid or even Kanye, where it's
Mhm.
like they're famous people. They seem down to earth and they seem like they have it together. And then all of a sudden they're just off the reservation.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's more like science that goes into like the way that eccentric brain works.
Mhm.
When, especially someone like Kanye, when you're that at the top of your game as an artist,
Mhm.
to just see you go down this path, it's sad and frightening in a way.
Yeah, and it's like so many people are like getting off on it almost. Like, did you hear like what he said? And it's like to publicly have these, like to have like a real mental breakdown, which luckily I I couldn't even imagine what it's like to lose you know what I mean? To have it so publicly and have everyone talking about it all the time. And it's like, so like a human being's downfall is our entertainment. It's just so dark. And it's like, obviously something's wrong with these people. They need to not be on TV at all and just be in private getting help. You know what I mean? We don't have to
Right.
broadcast every crazy thing Randy Quaid's saying. Let's just ignore him and let his family try to help him or something. But it's just like, people love this shit. It's just the nastiest part of our culture. It's just this TMZ, like it just seems to never get better. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
what is Britney Spears most famous for? Losing her fucking mind and shaving her head while she's a fucking kid, and all these adults are fucking like just getting so much pleasure about how crazy she is. You know what I mean? It's just nasty, nasty, nasty.
Well, we talk about this a lot on this podcast when it comes to sports fandom and how,
Mm,
maybe when I was younger, I was that person.
right.
But now definitely not. Like, even to the extent where people, it bothered me the other day, not the other day, it was like towards the end of the football season, a lot of people were dunking on Tom Brady for like, he now doesn't have Giselle, like he's now divorced, I guess,
Mm,
and like they're kind of like just dunking on him for that, and I'm like, what the fuck do you know, man? Like, that sucks. The guy got
Mhm,
divorced. That
mhm.
blows. Like, put yourself in his shoes. Like, I don't know. It was a weird, like, I think it's just strange when people dance on people or kick them when they're down, essentially.
And not forgetting not for, like, sucking at football, you know what I
Right.
mean? It's
Oh,
like
I loved hating on Tom Brady when he, like, throws a game-losing interception.
yeah, it's like bringing his personal life into it as that's like, we're losing the plot here. It's like, we're watching sports. Let's
Right.
talk about the game, the sports. Let's not and it's not, he's easy to hate, right? Tom Brady's like the most hateable guy, but I get what you're saying. It's like, yeah, it's his personal life at home is probably bad. It's probably shitty and sucks. It's like,
Yeah.
let's there's a stunning lack of grace, right? There's like uh just nobody, it's the widespread of not treating people how you would like to be treated. If you were going through a divorce, would you want people making fun of you for it because you fucked up at your job? I don't want anyone in my job talking about my personal life. You know what I mean? And it's like his personal life's on TV. But he's also out here posting thirst traps and shit, so he's gonna be okay in his underwear, covering his dick with his hand.
But also, like, he's maybe not the face of the NFL anymore, but he's a guy with, like, prominent status and power, and he's not
Mm,
in his personal life using that for, like, nefarious things.
mm.
Whereas, like, you got a guy like Kanye who still has a lot of, like, name recognition and power, and he's out there saying some really fucking awful shit.
Spreading hatred, right?
Right. So, like,
Right.
that I can kind of get if you want to, like, really kick that guy.
For sure. Tom Brady sucks. I hate him. He's annoying. But he's never spread hatred. You know what I mean?
Right. Right. It's
The
a big
worst thing he
difference.
ever did, like he had a fucking Trump hat in his locker, which is annoying as shit. And, I want to see Brandon Graham strip sack his ass a million times for it. But he's not like a fucking, he's not wearing an all lives matter shirt or some shit. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah, he might
saying
have strangely kissed his son on the lips, but,
very
other than
more than
that,
once. And that's fun to make fun of. Okay.
yeah,
He knew he was on camera.
that's fair game.
Oh my God. Giselle. What would they talk about? She's Brazilian. She likes actual football. You know what I mean? Pele. Capiche? Out of breath.
Yeah, I guess
So
another
wait,
guy that's recently been pissing me off is just Kyrie Irving, because he's a flat earther. This year he had some, like, choice.
but
Sorry.
is he a flat earther or is he just like trying to be funny? You know what I mean? Like, is
No.
he a troll?
No.
And then the anti-Semitic documentary he shared,
Yep.
it's all very weird and annoying. And then now he's just on the Mavericks, and like no one even like asked Mark Cuban, like, that I know of at least, like, is this weird? Like,
He, like, went to he was away from the Brooklyn Nets for a week or two to do whatever, like, Jewish training he did.
sensitivity training.
Yeah, and then
Deshaun
came back.
Jackson had to do it. Yes.
Yeah, and, like, and then that was it. That was the last I heard of it. I only listened to one Sixers podcast. I don't really listen to any, like, NBA podcasts, so I don't live in that ether to know if it's still talked about, but I don't know. What he promoted was really fucking shitty, and, like, because of that and him not owning it either, like, I remember his, like, press conferences after the fact were like, "What's the problem?" Like,
Yes.
but because of that is why I believe, no, he truly believes the earth is flat. This is not just like a bit or being a troll. He's just a weird fucking guy who gets caught up in these conspiracies. Sorry, you were going to ask me something before I brought up Kyrie Irving.
Oh, I just wanted to jump back. Do you have a pick for what's going to win Oscar of the year, number one?
Oh,
I
what
think Everything Everywhere is going to take it. It
that would be
seems like
my
the
pick.
momentum is going that way.
Yeah, because I think that won at the Golden Globes, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
believe.
I mean, it deserves it. It really does.
Hmm.
It's a good list of movies, but that would be my pick. I think from so many standpoints, and once again, just like the title, and just like we already said, there's so much chock full in this movie. Um, but I think of these movies, that one will probably look back 10 years from now and be like, not only does it still hold up, but it might inspire so many other people to do shit, you know?
For sure. That's that's the shit you want to see. That's
Yeah.
what you love, right? And fucking Michelle Yeoh, dude.
Yeah.
God damn.
And not to shit on Marvel, because I am a Marvel fan,
Mm-hmm.
but they're knee deep in trying to like create this multiverse. And so far, I think they're not really nailing it. And then here comes Everything Everywhere all at once in 2 hours and just does it perfectly.
Yes, yes. Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania is the current, to timestamp this movie, the current Marvel release. Have you seen this?
I have.
Okay. We just got a text from our fellow podcaster Brian Costello from Com Majors that said, hold on, I don't want to misquote BC. He's a teacher, he's a good man. He said, Ant-Man, dot, 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 yikes. Now, that was met with silence by the group chat, which happens in group chats. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Tim Parker, what do you say about Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantum Mania?
I don't say yikes. I
Okay.
don't say fantastic. I think this is the perfect encapsulation of what I think of this phase of movies with Marvel, where
Mm-hmm.
I'm just whelmed. I'm not underwhelmed. I just think they're like fine. They're like, it is a fun movie. Paul Rudd has some funny lines.
It's charming.
He's
Yes.
charming. Yeah. It just, I don't, and I think Keenan and I think we're going to record a podcast about it because we actually saw it together. Um,
Cute.
yeah. Uh, and a friend of ours, Josh, he's going to be seeing it very soon. So I think the three of us will talk about it. But
Mm-hmm.
like, there's just something missing, man, from this phase of movies. I just there's it's like an emotional weight. It's a
Can I tell you how I feel?
sure.
Are you are you Catholic?
No.
So I was raised sort of Catholic. I didn't go to church, but I went to CCD.
Oh, great.
What
The
CC
worst of the two.
what CCD is, for those that don't know, is after you get home from regular school on a Wednesday or Thursday, you'd have to go to the Catholic Church for CCD for some church school where they teach you a bunch of stuff and basically take you through your sacraments, your first Holy Communion, your confession, and then it all culminates with the confirmation.
What
Now,
does
in
CCD even stand for? Because all my friends just used to call it
Central City Dub.
Dub.
I've looked it up 1,000 times and I can still not tell you.
Okay, sorry. Continue.
No, you should look it up though. But what I was saying is, so CCD, basically Catholic parents put their kids in it to get them through these things, to get them to confirmation. And while you're coming up to confirmation in CCD, the CCD teachers are like, confirmation's not graduation. You should still keep coming after your confirmation. Keep coming to CCD. You can keep coming. This is not graduation. Everybody goes to confirmation and then they never go to CCD again. It's over. Now, how I felt at the second part of the Avengers movie was like
Endgame.
Endgame
Mhm.
was like basically I've I've
Been
gone through
confirmed.
it. This is my confirmation. I can go back. It's still going to be there, but for me personally, this is where I step off. I've seen a couple of the ones that have come out in the next phase. I've seen like the Spider-Man movies. Do those even count?
Yeah.
But I've seen like those, and here and there I'll see them, but it's like I did my time of doing all the things I had to do. I was confirmed, and now I'm out. You could tell me to come back, but you can't force me because it's CCD. It's not real school.
For the record, it is Confraternity of Christian Doctrine.
Of course.
Sounds about as cult-like as possible.
Yes, and we will all forget this immediately. And next time CCD comes up, we'll call it Central City Dump.
For sure. That's a great analogy for it, though, man. Yeah, I don't know. That there's just something missing from these movies. They're not bad. Like I said, I don't agree with what Brian said with the yikes. He and Jim actually were texting last week some certain reviews. Like they said, Rolling Stone gave it a really shitty review. And I was like, guys, I don't want to hear this. Like they of all people know I don't want anybody else's opinion until I see it myself.
Yes.
And then I'll compare notes, But yeah, I'm not going to really begrudge Brian either for having that reaction. I think it's very meh.
It's a movie.
Yep.
That's what they are now. It's just like, they come out. It's like they're required by the government. Like they're just, a Marvel movie has to be out every so many months or someone gets fined. Mickey Mouse, I guess, gets fined because he owns them.
I guess for you, this would especially be tough to watch because it's taking place in the, like that's not the quantum realm, which is like this microscopic, universe in a way. So everything is CGI, like fucking everything.
Oh, it's just a green screen movie.
Totally. I enjoyed it. They had all these weird alien looking creatures and stuff. But yeah, I don't know, man. I
mean, it can't go on forever. When Iron Man first came out and it was all building to the first Avengers, that is a moment in time that can't be recreated. It's over. You know what I mean? That initial, for the people that were of a certain age at that time, as they were coming out, that is just a unrecreatable feeling moment. It was just because at that time it was like, this is insane. This is what comic book people have always wanted. This is awesome. We're going to see the Avengers and it's going to look great. And it's going to have Tony Stark in them, Robert Downey Jr. This is awesome. Then it's just like, yeah, that lasted 10 plus, you know what I mean? A fucking generation, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's impressive that they made that feeling last as long as they did, but it's not surprising that it is not there anymore, because it can't be. Nothing like that can last. You can't have that seeing this for the first time. I mean, seeing the first Avengers for the first time and seeing the Avengers fight for the first time as a team. It's just, you can't recreate that. And now they're living in a post. I mean, they told such an epic story that it was over 10 years, right? Between
it was
Iron Man and Endgame.
I think it was exactly 10 years because Iron Man was like 2008, and I want to say Endgame was like 18.
You could have went to high school twice. You know what I mean? That's a huge chunk of your life, and you can't recapture that. And it's like they're trying to find what's the next thing, and it's that's just, it feels like a lot of things are in that what's next, figuring out the next great movement. And it's 2023?
Yeah.
Decades, right? The first couple years are kind of glommed onto the last decade, and 3-4 is when this decade kind of takes its own. identity, sort of. So we'll see what happens in Marvel and pop culture as a whole.
I do think they're missing the mark though. Like where I've been complaining on Pop Addled to Keenan a lot about how they're not giving us enough breadcrumbs of
Mm-hmm.
what they're creating
Mm-hmm.
with the big bad, this guy Kang, and the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm the reverse now. I'm like, no, they're giving us enough breadcrumbs. They're just not giving us enough like interpersonal relationships. Like I think that's what we, or at least I loved about the previous however many movies of the Thanos saga. I guess it's called the
Mm-hmm.
Infinity Stone saga.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like you gave a shit about like Tony Stark and Steve Rogers and how they interacted with each other. And yes, the movie might ultimately not give you many breadcrumbs as to what the fuck Thanos is planning, but
Mm-hmm.
like all those movies to get there, like you're really enjoying these relationships. And like right
Mm-hmm.
now, like for instance, to get more granular into Ant-Man, like I think it tries to be a movie about Paul Rudd and his daughter, and it
Mm-hmm.
just completely doesn't explore that like at all.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that like so it just doesn't have any emotional weight to it. You just and I mean maybe add it in with all the CGI. There's times when like you should be fearful as like a character is on the edge of a ledge, but it's just this CGI'd ledge, this CGI'd background. So you're like, I don't really
Nothing's.
believe that they're
Yeah.
standing on the edge of this.
Right.
Like
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
there's just no stakes in these movies. And yeah, I think like you said in one of the when you were talking about 1917, the way it's shot
Mm-hmm.
builds the tension. And like in
Mm-hmm.
these movies, I'm not gripped. I'm not on the edge of my seat. I'm not feeling any emotional tension at all.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Wakanda Forever, I did feel emotions. It was just mainly like sadness and regret, not regret. Jesus Christ, just like remorse
Remorse. Yeah. I
or
mean, it's
mourning in a sense.
yes. 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 Absolutely.
Um, and there are good moments in these movies. It's just not the same as the previous film, whole slew of movies.
Right. Right. And I mean, yeah, you're in year 15 right now.
Yeah.
How do you reinvent something like that? That's what they got to figure out, right? And it's like all of that, the stuff you were talking about, because the first time Iron Man meets Captain America in the movie, it's like a total, oh, fuck, in the theater, like, holy shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that is burnt out from everybody. Now it's just like I expect. Oh, I go see, the next whatever. Let's not pick on Ant-Man. Let's say whatever comes next. It's the next
I think it's
Guardians, right?
Guardians 3. Yeah.
And then the Guardians just ran into Ant-Man or whoever. That it's just like, okay, this is what happens now. Now this is just what we're used to. It's no longer novel that the movies are crossing over. I'm losing my fucking mind. Now it's just like, this is how these are. Like, it's just everyone is just in each other's shit. And it's like, they gotta think of something new to get to re-spark the excitement in the universe.
I guess I'm still waiting, not waiting. Like I want it now. The big team up. Like so like I'm looking at phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 5 movies. It's Iron Man, it's Hulk, which Hulk like they as canon they say that's part of phase 1, but it like really wasn't. But
Right.
Iron Man 2, Thor, Captain America. Those are your 5 movies, and then boom, Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
Like Avengers still today holds up. Like it's still so much fun to watch them team up. Like now in this phase, we've gotten Shang-Chi, we've gotten Eternals, we've gotten Spider-Man, we've gotten Doctor Strange, we got another Thor movie, we got Black Panther, we just got fucking Ant-Man. Like, where is my big team up? Like, you got to do
Mm-hmm.
something to reinvigorate my fandom because you're
Yeah.
just not doing it so far with these movies.
Right. Right. But do you know anything about the financials of this movie? Does it make money? You know what I mean? Do these movies still make money? Do they not care? They just opened, it's fucking Walt Disney.
Yeah, I assume they still make money. I haven't looked to Ant-Man in particular.
Mhm.
I bet Eternals was the one that did the worst for them.
Right.
Yeah, they have to still make money.
Folks, we're figuring it out. We're going to do what we have to do. Right? What's
Yeah.
next for DC? Flash. It's got
Yeah,
Michael Keaton in it.
and everybody's favorite groomer guy. What the
A
fuck is his
very
name?
problematic Ezra Miller.
Yeah, there it is.
Right? Ooh.
Yikes! That's where the yikes comes in.
Yeah. But James Gunn's the guy now, right? Like he just make him run everything. But then it's like, well, then everything's like his thing, and then everything's the same. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know. It's a whole.
I have faith that he'll get it on a good track. It's just like they gotta like clear the closet or clear the shelves of these things that have already been filmed because like they're still on the like probably Zack Snyder universe. I don't know.
Who knows? This is a conversation for Pop Addled. We could have that over there
True.
to really get into the granular details of what we think should happen. But don't they have a full Batgirl movie that they was so bad that no one will ever see it or something?
Yeah, it totally got canned or something. I forget. Like there's such a hot mess over on DC that it's just tough to keep up with their bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
Keenan's always on top of it, so I guess I'll have to talk to him. Yeah.
Keenan and myself are both soon to be fathers of boys. What a
humans.
fucking time. What a time to be alive. Proud to raise my son in the last generation that will have drinking water. Oh, I don't really believe that. Everything will be probably fine. Maybe his grandkids will have a tough time of it, but I'll be long gone. Doesn't mean shit to me. I got a 401k. I'm set. Capiche? Nothing will ever happen to the US dollar. Shouldn't have said that. Anyway. Anything else, Tim, that you want to get off your chest here? It's February, Valentine's month. We already passed it. If you missed it, you're fucked.
Yeah, Kat and I never do anything for Valentine's Day. I got her flowers. That was it.
Yeah.
This
year I got, instead of getting like a bouquet, I got flowers in planters. So now they're like house flowers instead of just garbage that we gotta throw out. You know what I mean?
What did you get? Like orchids?
I got a. It's like a pot with a orchid and it's like a pussy willow or something. But it's like I got an orchid and then some other plant with like a flower. But we got plants in the house and now we're just adding plants, and it's why didn't I ever think of this before? Why am I just getting bouquets that are, I mean, they're nice to have around for a week, but come on.
Yeah, like wrong hand. This guy right here is a potted plant, and we have a few more in the windows. I love having plants in the house.
I agree. I'm a total plant fan. Our front room has got a lot of plants in it. You know what I mean? My
parents have always had a ton of plants. Like they go to Produce Junction in Exton. They say they have like the cheapest plants to grab. That's where they get their orchids and whatever else.
Oh, smart. Yeah. We have a Produce Junction here in Boothwyn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my parents have always had an aloe plant, and if we burned ourselves, we would literally rip
Snip
off.
It. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it worked. That shit literally works.
Yeah, we have an aloe plant. There's supposedly, one of the easier plants to keep alive. So. But folks, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully I recorded this right, both on audio and video, whether you're listening to us on your favorite podcasting app or you're watching us on YouTube. We appreciate you. Tim, if people like the cut of your jib, where else can they find some content from you?
Yeah, my buddy Keenan and we do the Pop Addled podcast. We're on any of the things you listen to podcasts on. Just search
Mhm.
Pop Addled. We most recently did a Super Bowl kind of recap. We've been doing that for as long as we've done the podcast. We just like kind of recap the Super Bowl no matter who's in it, because
Mhm.
the halftime show is always fun and like commercials. And obviously this year the Eagles are in it.
Mm.
But we just did a quick hitter. It was only like 40, 45 minutes. We also, a couple episodes ago, had Jim on and we talked a ton about Andor, that Star Wars show
Ah,
that I just don't think is getting enough hype because it fucking rules. It's just so good.
whatever I'm hearing about it is all positive.
Yeah, Jim even keeps saying that he's like, that's probably the best show I've seen in 2022. So, but yeah, we cover a lot of movies. We talk a lot about the MCU and the DCEU, and
Mhm.
then sprinkle in some top fives and other shit here or there. So
Mhm.
yeah, always just read our descriptions. That will tell you exactly what the episode's about.
Yeah, and you can find me over there every once in a while as well.
Oh shit, duh. We just did so we've been running through with Mike and Harrison Tony Scott movies. So we just did The Last Boy Scout
Mhm.
starring Bruce Willis.
Bruce Willis, God bless the Willis family. Hard times,
Right.
hard diagnosis of, I believe, frontal lobe dementia or something.
Yeah.
Longtime listeners of our channel know that I have a lot of personal relations with dementia. And it's a very, very, very difficult thing. And, wish him the best. But he is one of our great, one of our American treasures in terms of acting, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of great Bruce Willis in the movie The Last Boy Scout. He is full on Bruce Willis in that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a fun episode too. And then we're gonna have our next episode is on True Romance.
Super pumped.
Yeah, yeah. So that'll be a lot of fun. And of course, you can find everything on our Doom Thugs feed, all our free episodes. Follow us on all the social medias. The Patreon is about to be launched in just a couple days here, as I got a couple pieces of physical media I have to get into my hands before I offer them to you to make sure they are good enough. So Doom Thugs everywhere. Follow us, review us, rate us wherever you can. That's the best way to support us independent podcasters, is to give us the ratings and all that shit. And the best thing you can do is just listen. So thank you for listening. We appreciate it. And Tim, I'll talk to you next month.
Yeah, we don't text ever in between then.
Never. That's what keeps this show pure. We talk once a month. That's it. Bye, Tim.
Bye, buddy. Yippee-ki-yay.